Hey, Hykiri Nation, back for another week. Oh, wrestling gossip. Monday Night Raw was not all that exciting this week, really. I mean, not much actually happened. One thing that did happen was yet again another match between Asuka and Big Time Bex. As expected, it was very much a great match. But this is what the third time we've seen this match, or at least in some capacity. And I mean, it's great watching Oscar and Becky fight each other because they're so talented and they work so well together. But you can only give us the same match so frequent, so much. And it gets a little stale. And Becky losing the match, I think that's good to her current character and Oscar going on. No Money in the Bank was probably the right call. So I think this is a good way to end the match. I highly doubt the feud is over, but I'm thinking that we'll see Becky cost Asuka the victory for Money in the Bank, but I guess we'll know more when it comes to Monday just coming up. Over on NXT, we had a video package from Jordan Devlin, the Irish Ace, under his new persona, JD McDonald. I don't know why the name changed. It doesn't make sense to me. Jordan Devlin's a great character. I mean, if you follow NXT, you've seen him on there when he was the interim cruiserweight champion, and you see him frequently on NXT UK up until his recent loss against Ilya. But that was kind of expected. It's good to see Jordan moving into the main roster in a bigger capacity because he's very talented. He has a great look. He looks like Finn Balor. So I look forward to seeing what they can do with JD. And we had a really horrible match with Alba Fire against Last Legends. I don't understand the hype with Lash. She's horrible. This match is horrible. And the sad part is, as horrible as this match was, it was probably her best match since her debut. And it was still horrible. And they need to pull the plug on Last Legends. Maybe not completely, but take her off of TV until she can actually wrestle. Which was a train wreck. Every single match she has is a train wreck. Now with Fire, I don't really understand the need for a gimmick or a name change from Kaylee Ray, but WWE seems to be in a phase where everyone gets a name change. So it's only fitting we get Alba Fire. I'm not really sure what they're doing with her. I think she's gonna have this feud with Lash for a bit longer. Unfortunately for her, because she deserves better. I would love to see her fight against Mandy Rose and Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. Anybody but Last Legends. It's just terrible. Moving over to AEW, we had such a great promo by Brian Danielson, aka Daniel Bryan. I mean, he just proved, or just with that promo, while he's the best wrestler in the world right now. Even though he's injured, he did so many things with this promo. It was amazing. I mean, when the crowd started cheering for him about his replacement, he quickly shot out that they shouldn't cheer him because when he came out, he came down the same tunnel that the heels used, which means the crowd should have booed him. And it's little things that he adds in his promos like that, and this is so good. Danielson literally can wrestle anybody in the world, and it's got a great promo and had the best wrestling match in the world right now. He's literally, just I don't even know, but Daniel Bryan should dare to be AEW champion because he's that good. I don't know if he wants to be, maybe not, but he could easily deserve it. I'm telling you, that's the only reason I watch AEW right now is for Bryan Danielson. So yeah, but unfortunately he's injured, like a lot of wrestlers in AEW right now. There are at least 10 wrestlers that are injured right now. Some big names, some not so big, like some up and comers, and some big stars. And unfortunately, it comes at a bad time because AEW is having their pay-per-view Forbidden Door, where they'll face off against stars from Japan. A lot of these wrestlers, I would love to have seen wrestle some of these injured wrestlers, but unfortunately, it's not going to happen. So we won't get to see Bryan Danielson against Zack Sabre Jr. We'll talk about that in a moment, though. But it's unfortunate because the injuries really hurt a lot of upcoming wrestlers. They could use this as a push. They get their names out there. But hopefully they'll be back soon. But on AEW, I don't understand. Well, I understand how Tanahashi became the second number one contender to fight for the title for the interim championship while CM Punk's injured. But what doesn't make sense is how he's even in the title picture because he's not a standard name in AEW. Even though AEW's having this crossover show, their championship match or their championship should be between their wrestlers. Should be the Bucks versus MJF. And I don't know why it isn't. And why isn't MJF on TV right now? That's what I'm saying. This is why I cannot take AEW serious. They have such a gold star right now with MJF, and they're just not using it. Back over in the NXT UK, we had another injury there. The tag team champions, Ashton Smith out of the corner, had to vacate titles due to injury before they could even have their first title defense. They nearly won the titles and instantly had to relinquish. And it's really sad because as a team, I believed they could have been really hyped. Because they have a good charisma. So I look forward to seeing their championship run. Because I felt like it was stale when Trent Sevens and Tyler Bates were champions. It was just stale type of boring. And these two seem like they could have brought some height to the championship. But later on in the night, the championship was decided in a fatal four-way match between Josh Briggs and Brooke Jensen from NXT 2.0 versus Mark Andrews and Wild Boar against Dave Mastiff and Jack Stars against the Familia. That was a great NXT UK tag team match. I was probably one of the best fatal four-way elimination tag team matches I have ever seen. I highly recommend you watch it. Did the right team win? Even though they're prominently over NXT 2.0 in America, I think having Josh Briggs and Brooke Jensen win was the right call. But throughout the match, we had great spots. Even from Wild Boar and Dave Mastiff. Mark Andrews obviously was their second high flyer with a really nice shooting star press. But Jack Stars, totally underrated in that match. He had some memorable moments that will probably be forgotten, but they shouldn't be. I think Jack Stars could really benefit from more TV exposure. He was really great in this match. I think the fans really can live it up with this one. But Josh Briggs and Brooke Jensen for winning the championship, I think it helps bring some height to the brand, but I don't know how long they'll remain champions since they're prominently, NXT 2.0. But let's move on. SmackDown was also a little bland, but we were witness to the announcement of Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam in a last man standing match. I think it's way too early to call a winner right now, but I think Brock Lesnar is the early favorite. I don't see Roman beating him again 3 times in a row. And I think this match had run its course. There are plenty of other people that we could have went with. I don't know why we're having. I don't know why we're going back with this match. But the fans will love it. On the last man standing match, it really means that there'll be bigger spots. And the loss will probably be done with some big force to keep the loser looking like he's still strong, even though he lost the match. So right now I'm saying Brock probably wins, but Roman, it's still just too early to tell. Last but not least, we have heard that both Bray Wyatt and Cesaro have issued trademarks for their new possible personas. For Bray Wyatt, I don't really think this means anything. But I think Bray Wyatt will be back on TV when Bray Wyatt's ready. And even though he says he's ready, the price he wants to return to wrestling is really steep. I don't see AEW forking out that cash with their big roster right now. or even if they can afford it. So, yeah. But for Cesaro, this is really interesting because him and Brian Danielson are really, really good friends. And with Brian Danielson having a mystery opponent to replace him against Zack Sabre Jr., it could be Cesaro. He's been rumored that he's going to AEW, which makes me sad. But it's also been rumored that he's been training for his in-ring return at Flatback Wrestling, which is owned by Tyler Breeze, in Orlando, Florida, which is where AEW pretty much marches around. So I think it's safe to say if Cesaro has a wrestling return date, it's probably going to be during Forbidden Door against Zack Sabre Jr. And if he indeed does debut, I would look forward. I would pretty much assume that he wins this match, as he will also be a part of the Blackpool Fight Club, which Danielson is in. So yeah, I think a trademark, wow, doesn't really say much about Bray Wyatt, which the trademark is just, what is it? Wyndham 6 or something like that. Cesaro, it just loses a few letters in his name, but I think he'll still go by the name Cesaro in some form. I think he will be returning. And I think it's safe to say it's that Forbidden Door. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoy all my wrestling news. And I look forward to seeing you guys live on Twitch with me every day doing my thing. If you enjoy my YouTube, please subscribe. Thanks, everybody.